All right, it is time for the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Melas, but you can call me Eli for short. And who the heck are you?
Hi, I'm Don Ledgerwood.
That's
your girl.
right. That's right. You are Don Ledgerwood. You are the Vice President of the GNA, Director of Operations. You are my other half, my better half. You are my everything, right? You
Yes,
are
sir.
my lady.
No singing today.
You're everything I need and more. You're all...
Must
Never
must
mind.
You.
Come on. We got to give the people a show here. All right, we are rolling quite well. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. We have a great show for everyone here today, right, baby?
Yes, we do. We have some special guests.
We have some very special guests we're going to be bringing on here in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, we're going to catch up a little bit here with my lady, Dawn. And you can tell us, Dawn, how has your week gone so far?
So far, my week has been wonderful since last week. Nothing super exciting. It's just been a great week, you know. We've done some fun stuff together. We've created content together. It's been a really great week. And right now, the Giants are winning, so I'm super happy.
And just to let you folks know, we record these shows on a Sunday, and we're recording this specific episode on Sunday, March 30th, 2025. So the Giants are winning so far on this day at the time of this recording. So
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm just really excited.
I just wanted to let our audience know that we're from the San Francisco Bay Area, and we love the San Francisco Giants, and yada, 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 right?
Yada, yada, yada.
That's right. That's right. Well, before we bring our special guests on, babe, you were saying we've had a great week.
Yeah.
It has been a great week.
Very productive.
Very productive, but, and that's one of the ladies popping back in, where we use StreamYard to bring people on. If you hear that little bloop, that means they're popping on and off.
Yeah.
Reception issues, stuff like that. So just letting the audience know out there. But I'll tell you, this week, we create content on YouTube outside of this podcast. I do a Walking with Purpose stream almost every day, if not every day. Right now, we've done 972 episodes. I've done 972 episodes
That's
at an
amazing.
average of 3 miles per walk. So, by the time we hit episode 1000, I will have walked nearly, if not more than 3,000 miles. That means from coast to coast.
Coast to coast, baby. That's awesome.
Is that insane? Episode number 1,000 of my Walking with Purpose stream is going to be coming probably sometime within the next, I'd say, 5 to 6 weeks or less. And for you folks out there, we put the video version out on YouTube. This is a podcast on YouTube and a video on YouTube, but we also have this podcast going everywhere. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on Amazon Music, and then on iHeartRadio.
And iHeartRadio, yeah.
I have this package through a company called Captivate.fm. Shout out to them. They're a great company, $19 per month, and they will basically connect you with the top podcast providers.
Mm-hmm.
They should probably add iHeart on there, but anyone that they don't connect you with, you can actually use what's called an RSS link that they create for you. RSS is really simple syndication. And you reminded me to add the podcast to iHeart. And I did that while we were talking. We were talking with one of our guests yesterday. I did that literally in 5 minutes, and we're already on iHeart as well, and all the other, ones that are not as known. So if you are listening to us in podcast land audio only, if you go into the description section, you'll see the link to the video version. that will also connect you to our main YouTube channel called GNA, Genuine Personal Development. Now, that's not where the walking streams are at. That's where these podcasts are at and other pre-recorded content. We've also done live streams on that channel, but we also have a live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where I do the walks. So if you're interested in following that after hearing what I said, go to the link in the description of this podcast, and then that'll take you to the GNA, Genuine Personal Development channel. Then go in the description section, and you'll see the link to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. You want to subscribe to both channels. Make sure you bang the bell and then select all notifications so you don't miss anything the moment that we put it out, because we're on a big mission here at the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, which is an organization I started way back in 2011. We did in-person networking, and we also help people with personal development. But now we're more focused online on the personal development and personal improvement aspect. And we tackle things head on. We basically call people out on their shit that deserve to be called out on their shit. What are your thoughts about the before we bring the ladies on? Because this topic is going to get pretty hot.
I think it's a great topic to talk about. It's very, very much today, what's going on in the world today. And so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be heavy. I look forward to it, honestly. And that's what we're about. We want to have more of a connection with people one-on-one if they need that. If they could message us, they can email us. We have all of that they can contact us, and we can do one-on-one with them.
Right. I've also shared my email in the link here on YouTube, and also throughout the entire podcast network. eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. Eventually, that email will always be active, but we shortened it down to GNA Network. We're going to refer to the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, as the GNA Network, because it's a lot easier to say and remember. And we're living in a world where we have so much content that's coming at us that our attention spans are just non-existent, right, baby?
Oh, yeah. You got to break it down and make it something that people are going to remember. I mean, if you've got this long-winded name to your company or your business, it's so much easier for 3 letters, GNA, for people to remember. So that's what we're going for, is just to have that as a reference. People are going to see that. They're going to know it's Genuine Networking Association. So that is what we're driven to do. Yeah,
if you're watching on YouTube, you see on the top left of your screen the GNA logo and star. It's about to be re-registered as a federal registered trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and we'll add the R when that happens. We'll share more about that another time. But before we have 2 guests on. They're 2 wonderful ladies that we've gotten to know and we know for a while. Everyone on the GNA executive team or leadership team is eventually going to get an email, and it's going to be whatever let's say, you're going to be Don L. or Don Ledgerwood at gnanetwork.org. So I will also have Elias Melas at gnanetwork.org. It is not active yet. So as of the time of this podcast, if you're watching it close to the time that it was released, that email is not active. We will make you aware on future episodes when all of our emails are active, and you can reach out to us. And if you are thinking about trolling my woman and sending her naughty, nasty shit through email, I will be monitoring her email along with her so we can block you. Now, as far as the other people, they're going to monitor their own emails. We're not going to monitor them. We want to respect, even though it's part of our organization and we have the right to do that, we want to respect their privacy and stuff.
Absolutely.
We trust them. We will show them how they can, how they can ban people. So let's see. We just got a message from one of our guests behind the scenes that she's having difficulty staying on. So we're going to do the best we can here with what we've got. We treat these recordings like it's live. So it's like live on tape. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't worry. It's
I
okay.
just was looking at that message. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just go ahead. We have one of our guests that's backstage, and the other one's trying to get back on to the StreamYard that we use to bring people on. You ready to bring on our guest, baby?
yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. I'm excited too. So with that being said, please welcome to the show, Tia and Sandra Palacio. For right now, it's just Tia. Let's give Tia a big round of applause. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Tia. Welcome to the show. We're going to switch over to the quad screen. The quad screen, not the quad screen. The quad
tongue twister there.
Screen, right?
All right.
Tia,
ready?
Welcome to the show. How's it going? Great to see you here, or have you here.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I am doing good.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, Tia and Sandra are on our GNA executive team. Tia is the director of special events. She's going to be helping us set up meetings behind the scenes and other possible events that we may be doing in the future. At some point, once we really get the organization to take off, we're going to be touring the country. And so we're going to have a blast. If you think
I can't wait. That's going to be so fun.
If you think this is exciting so far, this is going to be even more amazing further on down the road. But yeah, why don't we do this? Let's start off with Tia, and then hopefully Sandra will be able to join us here in a few. I'm watching the stream, and I'll pop her on as soon as she
connects.
As soon as we hear the boop, But Sandra, not Sandra, Tia. Tia, how about we start off by asking you, how did you, meet Don and I, and share a little bit about your experiences? I know we've talked about it in some other videos, but this is going out to the podcast network, so we're going to kind of do a little refresher for the people that don't know you.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty much disgusted with YouTube, the way it was becoming. It was not quite as bad a couple years back. And I've been with YouTube 7-8 years. It just became worse and worse. And I was going to leave YouTube. Somebody reached out to me and they said they wanted me to meet you and Eli. And I thought, why not? It wasn't drama, but I wanted to get away from the drama in that. So I met Don and Eli, and it was just totally a different experience. It was a place that was, there was issues with trolls, but you have that everywhere. But that's how I came to know them. And I was going through a difficult time at that time. And I am not laying it on thick, but without the help of the GNA, and God, I don't know what I would have done. I really got close to it was a smaller group, got close with them and stayed with the GNA and never did leave YouTube. So that's really what happened. And it's growing and it's exciting. And I'm just looking forward to so much because Eli has been through a lot and it's really progressing, as well as Dawn. She has come so far in so many ways, and I won't tell everything, but that's how I got to know the GNA and really came to like it.
Great. I mean, that's wonderful to hear. I'm glad we were there for you in that time of need. And we absolutely love you, Tia. We wouldn't be as strong if we didn't have you here.
Absolutely, absolutely. What were
Well,
some of your
thank you.
experiences? Sorry, go ahead, Tia.
Oh, I just said thank you to Dawn.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you're very welcome. Uh, how about you share with us what were some of your experiences like? You don't necessarily have to mention names. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but why don't you share with us how were some of your experiences that made you feel like you didn't want to participate on one of the actually the largest platform, video sharing platform in the world, and YouTube has become like the place where people consume most of their content. I mean, that'd be giving up something huge. Like what actually happened? And then you said when you found us, you decided to stay. What was the turnaround?
Well, I came from a community. I came to YouTube for more of the crime end of it. Um, I like true crime. I find it interesting. I still do. But it ended up that it never stayed true crime. It wasn't that long and it became drama and crime, which, of course, a lot of people know, some don't. It became a crama community. And it became very
I
cutthroat.
love it.
You know,
I love that
yeah,
trauma.
I know. Yeah, right, eh? Um, and it came really cutthroat. And I'm talking, I had some issues, but other people had it, a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Where they had, where they would be threatened. People did go to other people's homes. Um,
Yes.
Things like that were starting to happen, dangerous stuff. I wasn't really like concerned because I'm a little more quiet. So I'm not a creator. I was a sub to many channels. And, but I always felt, and I still do, and I still go into, watch some, of the communities I used to go to. And there are so many people now that say there's no true friendships, there's no trust, stuff like that. And it wasn't like that. Um, and so when I seen it becoming really negative, um, to be honest, I never met a true friend on YouTube until I joined the GNA. And I'm being just so honest. Acquaintances, yes, but to say a true friend like Eli, Dawn, and Sandra, and there's a few others, um, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't meant to be. And not only was I looking for the entertainment part of it, um, you want to form some friendships, even if they're online, but that was not to be. Not when I was associating with these people, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of
Yeah.
really, yeah, cruel things, lies, um, just I mean, we're not perfect. We've all done things, but not to the extreme of uh, really wanting to hurt people. It
Right.
was becoming dangerous. It is dangerous. I shouldn't say it is
Yep.
dangerous. I've seen experiences where the restraining orders, the all that stuff, court proceedings, and people. get away with this stuff, and it really angers me. And that's where the GNA, I fell in love right away, because I like to help people, and so it was right up my alley, and I that's what I want to do. And yeah, I mean, I can be bold, I can tell people off, but there's a right and a wrong way.
Right.
And that's where the GNA is. We try to be kind and, help people. But hey, if you're going to be a jerk, you're going to be treated really how you treat people. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be treated with kid gloves. There's a lot of stuff out there that people are in denial, and there's stuff going on now that just blows my mind. But yeah,
Oh
so
yeah.
that's why I just wanted to, I was more unhappy and more like, God, I don't know if I even want to, go into the chat tonight. And then I did stop going into chats, and I would just listen. And I'm like, it was becoming not for me until I found out about the GNA.
Yeah, and you
Does that,
mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I said, is that more of a thorough answer?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned krama. And I'm going to explain that to people, because when I first heard the term krama a little over 2 years ago, I said, what the fuck is krama? And then all these people on YouTube were saying, you haven't heard of krama? It's a combination of the true crime community and drama shit show channels. Well, that's the exact reason why I haven't heard of it, because I try to stay away from the drama shit show bullshit that, basically, what Tia is talking about. And so, yeah, what happened was, and babe, we'll get your reaction here too. What happened was, all these channels, they were doing well for a while. Some of them better than others. And the ones that, weren't getting the numbers, started to basically trashing people within that community and making it into a drama community, which has nothing to do with true crime. True crime is typically, we watch a lot of true crime on TV.
Pretty much all we watch.
I mean, that's like one of the hottest things to watch, because it's typically involving somebody being murdered and how it happened, and the police trying to catch them, or the FBI, or
I would say Law and Order is like one of our favorite
yeah,
shows.
we like Law and Order
Yeah.
SVU, and then we have the 2020s and
Datelines,
Dateline NBC, and all that stuff, right? And then ABC has, that's 2020 ABC,
Yeah.
but they also have a lot of their specials that they've done.
They do like 2020 Extreme.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, something, I can't remember the exact name. But I mean, true crime is everywhere, and it's one of the most watched genres. But a lot of these creators, especially on the YouTube end of things, they weren't doing as well. So they started to, just make up what I like to call fake instigated drama within their own community. And then more and more true crime creators that weren't doing as well doing the true crime content, they started to just start trashing other channels. And then it became a back and forth. And it's been a back and forth shit show full of garbage for at least a few 2-3 years now. And this is something that, I'd like us to do whatever we can out here on YouTube to address this and keep addressing it until people understand that they are better than this. I think the reason why, and let me ask you first, Don, then we'll go back to Tia, because I think Sandra's still having difficulty trying to get back on. She still has not popped on.
Checking on that.
Yeah, and if she's not able to come back, then
we'll have her next time.
We'll have her next time individually, and UT and I will run the show. It's just the way it goes. We got to pretend like we're live, right? Because we're like live on tape.
And that happens sometimes when you're live.
But yeah, the reason why, in my opinion, why these people are doing this is basically, the topic of the show: grown adults on social media stuck on stupid.
Yeah,
they're stuck on stupid because they don't have any faith in themselves that they can create actual, legitimate, helpful content that people will watch and they can make decent revenue on. One thing in the drama community, initially, these creators that, were not doing that well with the regular true crime content, when they went the drama route, they started getting donations. It's really weird how on YouTube, people will donate money to creators that trash talk other creators. And I've realized they do this because a lot of these drama groups, they'll attack channels like ours, where we're trying to create something genuine, authentic, in where we're in a good place. We take care of ourselves physically. We have a decent lifestyle, and they apparently don't. So they're projecting their insecurities. They don't have the faith that they can create something legitimate. What are your thoughts about that, babe? And then
that's what basically stuck on stupid is something Eli got from me. I've had that term for a long time. What stuck on stupid means is when you come to a point that you feel your success, but really you're not. It's not working out for you in a positive way. So you're stuck on that stupid idea.
Right.
You don't want to expand and grow. You're just stuck on stupid, and that's all I have to say about it. Just not my problem. It's your problem. It's your life, but I can sit here and say you're stuck on stupid.
Yeah, and you actually created that phrase. I mean, I'm sure did you get that from somebody else, or did you hear that somewhere?
You know what? I'm not positive. I know, back in the day, my girlfriend and I, my friend in Sacramento, her and I would come up with all these things. Like we had simmer down, and there's just a lot of different catchphrases. And I think honestly, we started doing that after The Office, when that's what she said became popular. I think we started doing our own little sayings, and,
yeah.
And so stuck on stupid. It stuck. I seriously, that term made so much sense that it literally stuck with me. And I was like, I'm going to call everybody out being stuck on stupid.
That's the best thing. And I have more to share on that, but let's get to Tia. Let's ask her what are her thoughts about, these people being stuck on stupid, and what we said about these creators that tried to initially make it as true crime creators, but then they realized that at least initially, for the short term, they can get more traction and make a little more money doing the drama route. What are your thoughts about that? What do you feel these people are doing, why they're doing it? Share your thoughts with us, Tia.
I feel that a lot of the creators, I think, excuse me, the true crime wasn't as interesting. And then the drama came in, and they really were just talking about other creators, other people, and so then it became like a competition between all these communities. And when I first started in the crime community, there was not that many creators, and now there's oodles of them. It's drama. There's one guy that I started with, and I remember his first time, and his name is The Glare. He's doing very well. He's got a big following. He succeeded, and and I'm getting a little off the subject, but he does a lot on missing children. And what really gets me is the people that really want to do the true crime, and find missing children. They stick to it, and it's not about the money. But a lot of the
No.
true crime and drama together, it's not about the child or really finding who's missing or whatever. It's about money.
Yeah.
And it's a back and forth thing, and it really pisses me off because you're talking a person's child, mother, brother, well, sister, whoever it is, and they make more trouble. They've gone to people's houses, picketed
Yeah.
outside the house of the victim. That's how it's got. It's. I know I'm getting a little off, but it the competition, jealousy, lies. That's what it's become. And it all comes down to money. It just does.
Yeah.
There's no other
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Tia. Real quick, that's absolutely true. Um, if these creators were actually calling out other creators that are actually doing dumb things, that would be one thing. And initially that may be the case. But once, they expose all the temporary dumb stuff one creator may have done, for example, and they have an audience that wants them to keep going at that particular creator, they have to find reasons to keep going at them. So that's where I feel they come in and create this fake instigated drama. This has happened to
Mm-hmm.
me for several years. It's still currently happening, not as bad, but these people are still coming, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a little bit, because it's very comical. But yeah, again, this is where the stuck on stupid comes in place, because they're solely doing it for the money. And most of it is not real, but they do everything they can to make it appear real, which can hurt those creators that they're going after or that they're trashing for money and views and all that. It can and does hurt the other creators, because there are people out there that will believe what anyone says.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the
Right.
problem comes into place. That's why, for me at this point, I've decided to tackle things head on, and I'll keep calling people out, and we'll keep using them for example purposes. We're in a much better place here now at the GNA. We have closed all the loopholes. Like these people, like you were mentioning, Tia, I've been a part of a few lawsuits that nothing major happened. They were all stupid lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of a bunch of lawsuits over the last couple of years with one other creator that's been using me as their content. And that's their entire audience, but they don't talk about me or are not suing me or threatening to sue me. They don't get any traction or make any money. The same creator, sent the police, to our house here, to do a wellness check, on Dawn.
On me.
And I ended up trying to get a restraining order on this creator. And it was denied because this creator lives 2,500 miles away. That's another story for another time. But during that case, the judge even said, because I made the judge aware of that is considered swatting.
In the
When
state
you
of
send-
California.
Right. And in many states too, not just California, but California is very, very anti swatting, because if the caller makes it sound like it's a situation where, let's say, for example, they say, okay, he has a gun on her head or something, right? Then, they might send the whole SWAT team, and break down your door, and then potentially, shoot and kill innocent people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it just behooves me. And the person that did this is going to be watching this, will be reacting to it and still talking shit, because that's all this person pretty much has. This person doesn't have any faith that she can create any other content besides this. And no disrespect intended. This is just for example purposes. This person is very overweight, doesn't have the best lifestyle, is not happy in my opinion. She's not happy within herself. So what else can she put out there on YouTube that people would watch consistently and donate to and give her the ability to make money on? Right? I think a lot of these people need to focus on bettering themselves and then coming back and sharing their story on how they turned their lives around. Then people would listen to their story, would see a person that made a change, and would, they would grow the right way. But these people, like Don said, they're stuck on stupid. I mean, that's what's going on here. So, I've just learned to tackle these things head on. Anything else you want to mention about what I said, Tia or Don?
Well, I wanted to mention that a lot of these creators, they have somebody working with them that offers them the money that they need to do all of this. And that's the frustrating part. They're not actually making money on their content or anything. They're just being like, it's a cash roll. And that I don't understand.
It's like hiring a hitman. And you know what? This is the first time I've looked at it this way. So we've had people, there are people out here on this platform that have specifically donated large amounts of money, $500 to $1,000 per show, for other creators to trash talk you and I, right?
Yeah.
In essence, that's the same thing as hiring a hitman, but digitally on YouTube. You're paying someone with the intention to bully and harass them. Now, I understand it's a YouTube and we can ignore all that stuff. We're just talking about it because this is really someone that's hurting deep down inside, and they've got nothing better to do with their time than spend and waste their money because it makes them feel good when someone they perceive to be in a better place than them is attacked by, in my opinion, low-life scumbag, trashy, degenerate type of people that are willing to create this type of content. So does that make sense, babe?
Oh, total sense. And that's these people that do that, they're obviously lonely people, because if you're gonna just spend your money on people on YouTube just to create drama, you must be a lonely soul. I mean, honestly. I find myself to be pretty much normal, if you can say that, in the sense that I wake up in the morning, the last thing I think of is hurting somebody else. And whether that's with my words or anything else. These people literally set their alarms to wake up at like 4 a.m. to watch something to create drama for that person, so they can't even get a head start on the day without having that drama in their show. I mean, Eli, you've experienced that a lot. Like, you were at one point doing shows in the middle of the night to try to avoid those people coming in with their comments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would broadcast my live streams at 3 a.m, which is 6 Eastern, or 2 a.m, which is 5 a.m. Eastern. And that's where these people are at, figuring they're still sleeping and stuff like that. And they were still rebroadcasting. These people have rebroadcasted most of my streams. They've lived vicariously through my content.
Yeah, if you go to their channel while we are doing our show, they will literally, all you'll see on their screen is our show with their comments in it. And either verbal or in the comment section, that's how it is. It's not like they're pausing it and saying something like, oh, Eli is wrong about this and this is why. No, it's just all hatred, sadness, loneliness, and depression.
Yeah, and then furthermore, some of them will even take comparison screenshots while live, how many people I have in my live chat box compared to theirs. And they'll say, oh, Eli has 24, but the restream had 80, and we made more money. Eli, give it up. You suck. Well, motherfucker, whoever's doing this, motherfuckers, you're using my content to get those numbers. Can you get those same numbers not using my content? Here's my thing to those people and they're still going to be watching this. If you can get similar numbers without using my content as you do with my content, then I can say good job. But see, they already know that.
Yeah.
But they're just trying to antagonize us, to trigger us, and use that as further content. And they're just posting that because it makes their audience of people that are stuck on stupid, some of which have a little bit of money to donate to them. It incites a few donations from the stuck on stupid audience that these stuck on stupid creators have. So yeah, so I mean, at this point right now, I just create content live or pre-recorded. We create content live or pre-recorded whenever we feel like it. And whatever happens. We've got everything protected here. The GNA is an LLC. We have, I have a DBA, Elias Melas DBA, Genuine Living Association GNA. I've got a business license here in Redwood City. I've always had a federal employer identification number, a federal tax ID. I've always had a seller's permit. And earlier this year, I got a registered trademark with the Secretary of State here in California. And our United States Patent and Trademark Office trademark, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I believe I mentioned it, is in the final stages. It's going to be re-registered. I had it registered, way back when I started the organization, but I lost it due to a clerical error after 6 years. And I've been trying to get it back for the last 4 years. And finally, it's about to come back. And even one of the creators, a couple years ago, the same lady I was talking about, she was trying to steal my business. Another person in her community and a community that was trashing me, has been trashing me for years, put that idea in her ear. And then she denies that he put that idea in her ear. When this guy did the same thing to me a few years before that, he tried to, I had a channel called A Grip on Life. So this motherfucker went out there and created a Grip on Life LLC just to fuck with me. Then he became friends with this lady that did the same thing to me. She duplicated my business on YouTube. And then she was taken down for impersonation and sued me. And then she was trying to say, oh, you don't have a business license and this and that. And I didn't have that at that time. I didn't know I needed one for that type of business. Now, most people would have said, hey, Eli, you should probably get a business license. I'm sure you didn't know that. But not someone like this woman that's dependent on myself and other people in the drama, the drama community for her content, right? So, this guy got in her ear, told her about this, and then she carried this out. It created a legal battle. We ended up settling the case, and then she tried to also get a restraining order on me, and she was denied. I tried to get one on her. It was denied. It was a back and forth for a little while. This woman did a lot of stuff. She had me served by a process server that lives 500 miles away in Southern California. That was a part of the YouTube community. And then he recorded me while I was being served without my permission, and then gave that video to this guy that put the idea in her head to try to duplicate my business and go after my business. And then they put that video out there publicly. Like the shit that these people have done just for attention and a few dollars, right? Even if it was a few $100s a week for the time being, is that worth it? Maybe to people that, and I say this respectfully, maybe to people that are very, very poor and, are just really struggling that much to make ends meet. Maybe it might have helped them, but honestly, is that going to be, is that even worth doing? Like, what are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I don't understand where they come from. The woman in particular, I feel that she is not doing very well financially. She's not doing anything for income. She lives off of the government. And
we don't know that. We can't assume. We have to say government. We have, in your opinion, because she may try to sue you for slander or defamation, which there's no way she.
I didn't say her name. So
right, but I get what you're saying. We haven't mentioned any names, but I get that. But she's still going to say stupid shit like that.
She can say whatever she wants,
right?
Because
Freedom of
She's
speech.
stuck on stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tia, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that person, I feel, is well, I don't know her lifestyle, but in my opinion, first of all, I've always said it, that money there, it's dirty money. Just like when you brought up what you said, Eli, about, I think you compared it to a movie, but how this works, but
A hitman.
it is. What
It's
was
like hiring
that?
a hitman. It's
Hiring
like
a hitman.
hiring a hitman.
Right, that was it, right.
Yeah.
And it's dirty money. And I think a lot of the people that are really into it, and there's another male creator that does the same thing, but she is more evil to me. That's just my opinion. They are lonely, depressed. It was mentioned like kind of shut-ins. So this is their livelihood. And I was reading an article too that some of the trolling and things like that can become addictive. And that's, and I believe that, they have nothing else to do, so that's what they do. And because, come on, these people are doing it all day, like 24 hours a day. I'm not saying every day, but when do they work? They have to be like, it's they're high almost, they're not, they have issues, definitely have issues, in my opinion. I mean, it's not a normal lifestyle by any means.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, just, I was going to say, not only that, but they don't have any friends. They don't have people to do things with during the day to entertain them other than sitting at home in front of their computer and just spewing out their anger and their depression, trying to bring others down.
Yeah, absolutely. And furthermore, and honestly, I'm trying to say this respectfully because I care about everyone, including these people, no matter what they've done to me or to us. Don and I are very empathetic people. They're going to say we're not because that's their shtick. That's their game. If they ever say even one slight thing nice about us, even if they feel that way, they're out of business from their audience. And that's what it all boils down to, right? But when it comes to this woman, in my opinion, okay, I mean, she's extremely overweight and unattractive, in my opinion. Okay, she may say the same thing about me. I really don't care. But the bottom line is she's overweight, unattractive, probably has not gotten much attention in life, at least in her older years. And coming out on YouTube, and trying to create something normal when, you're that unattractive and, in my opinion, hideous, okay, is not going to get you anywhere. So when she starts to get a large amount of people following her for one thing she's done, like what's happened to me, that can be addictive, right, babe? That's something that
it fuels their fire.
Yeah, it basically makes her feel like she has a purpose and that she's worthy of creating something.
Right.
But then at the same time, she tries to come off empathetic to her group of people, right? She says, I care about organizations and I care about, fundraising and donating money to blah, 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 right? She tries to come off empathetic, and she may even actually be empathetic, but the content she's creating and how it's making her appear out on YouTube contradicts who she is. So I firmly believe these people more so do it because that's their audience, and they have to keep giving their audience what they want to keep that high and to keep whatever little money they're making come in. And it also makes them feel like they finally have some kind of purpose in life. I've said it before on some shows and videos on YouTube. It's giving her and others that do the same thing a false sense of purpose. Don't you agree, babe? It's a false sense of purpose.
Yes, because that is not a purpose that is providing anything for the world.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, do we have her?
Sandra is back.
Oh.
Hey, Sandra. Sandra,
Hey,
is that
Sandra.
you?
Dude, I almost quit trying.
Well,
Aw.
Sandra, hang on. We got to give you a big round of applause for making it on the show. Did you turn off your Wi-Fi and you're on 5G?
I turned off the Wi-Fi. I redid my phone and I moved again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm in
Oh, geez.
another location. I was going to give up. Because it kept just spinning. So I listened to a little bit of what you were saying right now.
You've got the tech master. You got the tech master here, and you and Tia, along with my girlfriend Dawn, because you both are very special friends. Okay,
Yes.
and we're going to hear your story on that in a second. We already heard Tia's, and you're going to have to unfortunately wait for the show to be public to hear that. I'm sure you'll hear it, but you all get free services from me. You know, when it comes to tech, you know I'll help you anytime, and so probably
I appreciate it.
Your home internet might have gone out, or your router needs to be restarted or something, and it's all good. We're good. We're glad to have you here, right, Tia? Right, Dawn?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
Just
swear,
not the
way my
same
cats have
without
been,
you.
Hey, the way my cats have been chewing things, I had to go and look and see if they were chewing on the damn cord over there for the internet too.
Huh.
Oh my gosh,
Huh.
they chew on everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so let's get to Sandra here. We are about 50 minutes into the show, so we got about another 30, 40 minutes, and that's good, about an hour and a half or so. If we go a little over, that's fine. But Sandra, we're going to ask you the same question that we asked Tia at the beginning, to share with us, how did you meet us? Actually, you met me first, and then, you met me years before I even met Dawn. 3.5 years ago. We've been together for 3.5 years. Can you ladies believe that? Jesus, wow.
Flies.
And I'm a big fucking loser according to these people on YouTube and social media. These people stuck on stupid, right? I can't keep right. Anyway, so that's all good. I'll own that. I'm a big fucking loser, right? But Sandra, share with us, how did you met me first and then you met Dawn?
Yeah,
How did this all start?
I met you
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, you. The floor is all yours.
Okay, so I met Eli about 8 years ago. Actually, it's been 8 years, maybe a little more than that by a few months. And so I was listening to another creator, and I was new to YouTube, period. So I was listening to somebody else, and he kind of made me laugh, and then come in Eli, y'all were talking then, and then now that whole community, I call it the community because it's broken up into how many now, but people know me. I know who they are. I know a lot of
Sandra,
those
I'll just say,
too.
you're talking about JB Gunner here, JB Gunner here. Hey, you know what?
He would make me laugh. I mean, he had some good stuff, I mean, I was listening to him, but I liked some of the shows that he was doing. He would make me laugh. I mean, there's certain things that he would say that cracked me up, and then I was it. So I followed him a lot.
Sandra, I'll admit one thing. I did learn a lot from JB Gunner. I learned how to use third-party software instead of just using StreamYard directly or what we used to use, Hangouts on Air. But also, I saw that JB Gunner started to use the Shure SM7B like I'm using. Because I was thinking about getting one, and then I said, shit, if fucking JB Gunner is going to get a Shure SM7B, I got to go buy one. And then I, because I have a Best Buy card with, 12 months, no payments, no interest, as long as you pay it off. I said, shit, I got the Best Buy card. I'm going to order the Shure SM7B, and I've been in love with this mic. Dawn thinks I love my Shure SM7B more than her.
Absolutely.
You
That's all he talks about sometimes.
But I want it. Listen.
No,
you got to give credit.
Listen.
Listen.
We can't watch anything on TV that has a microphone without him pointing out the type of microphone they're using.
The Shure SM7B is a great podcast and vocal mic. And your mic, the Shure SM58, is a stage mic that a lot of shows use. So I'm like, baby, there's your mic.
A lot of hosts use on those shows.
A lot of hosts use the Shure SM58. But anyway, let's get back to Sandra. So Sandra, listen.
Right?
Yeah. Well, thank you. But before we get back to you, listen, I know JB Gunner's done a lot of stuff to me, and we can get into it, however you want to do it. But I got to give credit where credit is due. I did learn a lot from the guy. So here's the thing: you can sometimes learn from people that have been stuck on stupid, and actually,
I don't believe JB Gunner has been stuck on stupid as long as some of these other people.
No, JB Gunner went away from it after a while, and he's been doing his own thing, and he might chime in once every year or two. But that's why I'm saying, look, I can sit there and say, all right, that was then, this is now. We've learned, we've matured, we've grown up. But anyway, go ahead, Sandra. I just wanted to throw that in there.
He's a good creator. I really like his stuff. Lately, I couldn't find him for a while, and I found him back again. So I was starting to listen to some of his things. But he is a good creator, and he has moved away from the kind of drama stuff. Yeah, he pops in every once in a while. I think the other time he popped in last time, I think someone was kind of egging him on a little bit. So I think he just did it for shits and giggles.
I think they may have offered him some money too. Yeah, somebody was egging him. Yeah, the Jamie J guy. I get it.
They may have, but he does he does a lot of work. He does a lot of, when he does his topics and stuff, he really does a lot. And I really have a lot of respect for of respect for him. I do. But so anyway, so I was doing him, and then I've been around. I followed everybody. So I've known him really longer, but I've stuck with you maybe more longer than anyone.
Well, Sandra, didn't I initially ban you once or twice before you stuck around permanently for years? Because
but you know why?
You were a part of JB Gunner's crew.
No, that's not why. That was
what was it?
That no, that was because of someone else that we discussed earlier. We discussed the other day, and you got mad at him. So because you got mad at him, you got rid of me, and you pissed people off. I remember there were people that were like, "What?" So because you threw me out with the bathwater. Let's just put it that way. And in a way, the way these things go. Too, you don't know, you people follow other people, and
right.
Some people don't know where their loyalty lies, or, so, and nobody even asks to say, hey, so you just get thrown out with the bathwater. And, but I still followed you after that. I mean, I was really hurt. I was hurt by that.
But you've been a moderator now for about 5 or 6 years at least. Like, you've been, let the people know, you've been around for ages now.
I've been a moderator for a long time. I think I've been a longer moderator than Queen has.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. You have been a moderator longer than Queen. Yep.
Yeah. So I've seen all the craziness in all these communities, and I also go out and look at other people and how they do things and what's going on. And let me tell you, you think it's crazy here. There's some out there that are like way out the box, that it's like out there. So it's not just our community. It's not just our community and certain people that get picked on, but there are all these other communities that do the same damn thing. And I think it's mostly for attention, and they get the attention and the admiration from people, and it just feeds their egos.
It's like a drug. It's like a drug, right, Sandra?
It is.
Yeah.
Some of them are just mean. Some people are just mean, and they get off on it, and other people follow in because they're just as mean. And I think it does have to do with being, not accepted somewhere or needing the attention. I look at it like
Mhm.
that. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but needing the attention and the acceptance of
Yeah.
others
Yeah.
because they have no self-esteem. It's like their
Right.
self-esteem is gone. And of course they're going to say, no, I'm proud of myself and this and that, but something's
Right.
obviously lacking if you have to put other people down
It's
to
a
make
projection,
yourself
right, Sandra?
feel better. It is that too. It is, but it's like when they turn it around because all that hate they have for other people is the hate they have for themselves, and they don't even realize
Right.
that. They don't
Amen.
even realize that. Uh, I analyze a lot of people, and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything, but I've always been that kind of person to kind of look at people and see what's going on, But
You can size them up pretty
I
easily, like I do,
do
right?
think
And
that
Don does, right?
I can. I can. I can. There's even people that I have kinda, like, close to me that I know, I shouldn't even have around. But, yeah, I can pretty much do that, pretty much so, I would say. Yeah, I could read through it. I could read through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so you met me and then, you got banned a few times. I've banned so many people. I've lost count, and I'm trying to do a better job of, letting more people stay, and we're still actually, banning the known trolls because there's no use to having them around. They're not going to donate. They're not going to help us in any way. But so that you've been around for a
But the
while.
no,
Um
but the thing about trolls though, Eli, the thing about that is, when, like, someone was in the chat, I was listening, but I wasn't talking. And there's not even a question. It's just like throwing mean stuff out or saying a comment without even
And most
participating.
of them are
Oh,
now
so and so is
directed
doing this.
at me.
Oh, yeah, well, that
Y-
too. Well, of
Yeah.
course,
Yeah.
you're going
It's
to be
yeah.
an
all
easy
it's all
target.
about
You
bringing
know,
Dawn
I mean,
down to bring Eli down. Now
Well, when
I'm
they
the
when they can't
weapon.
get
oh
to
yeah,
me, they get to you, and they got to you for years after they stopped getting to me. Now they know they can't get to either one of us, so they're pretty fucked right now. But and closing all the gaps that were within the business and other aspects. Right now, there's not really much they can do, and we can help people close any of these gaps. If you're trying to start a business on YouTube or trying to do something more positive, and you're inundated with trolls and haters that are preventing you from triggering the right people in their algorithm, we can help you overcome that. But go ahead, Babe or Sandra, go ahead, continue.
yeah. No, that's true. There's ways they can deal with even 18. They have to do that. In other words, another thing about support too, going
Sandra,
of
you're starting to break up
just
again.
keeping
Sorry,
out of
Sandra.
their. Oh no,
There you go.
let me
You're
move.
back. You're back.
I think
You're
people just. I think people some. I think people sometimes just need to be out of their element and come and talk to other people. You know, for instance, it's just like us. You could talk to Dawn, you could talk to whoever, but sometimes you might need someone else to listen or to talk to. So that's
Yeah.
where we can come in with aiding other people. It's
right.
Yeah.
sometimes easier. Well, look, it happens on the internet too. I mean, when I first started, I was having conversations with people like my heart was going out to, and I'm like, dang, I can't even open up like that with my best friend, you know?
Right.
So sometimes it's easier that way. And that's why I think on the other hand, too, that's why it's easier for these people to be so mean because they don't have anyone they don't have to, how do you say, there has no consequences for their actions.
Right.
Hmm.
So it can go either way. It could go the way where, you
They're
can
not being
trust
held
somebody since they
responsible
don't
for
know
anything they
you.
do.
Yeah, yeah. So it goes either way, for the good and the bad. But sometimes people just need other people to talk to that don't have a bias. You have your best friend who, you know, many a times they're going to be more biased to you. Oh yeah, that son
Hmm.
of a bitch left you. He did that. Damn it. Right? But you can come someone else where they'll try to say, okay, well, what happened? What did you
My
Yeah.
do?
best friend
What did
does
they
that all
do?
the time.
Right?
My
It's like,
right. That's what she's there for. is to
Yeah.
shit talk whoever's upset me. That's what
Right.
your
Well,
best friend's for.
Right.
But then I
well,
have my
I've been in
therapist,
well,
and then
see,
my
and yeah,
therapist actually works it out for me. Why I
but
shouldn't
I've
just
been
be
in
bitching.
but I've been in situations where, for instance, a friend of mine and her husband did this and that, was having an affair, and la da 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 da, and it split the whole group up. It's because everybody was friends with a couple. It split the group up, right? And then what happens? She goes back to him. So now the people that went against him, look, they have egg on their face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because now everything's
Oh,
fine. And then you're like, well, shit, here I'm supporting you, right? Because you needed that support for you, all for you. You go back to him, and then he feels like, well, you guys are all against me in the first place. You see, it puts you in a weird kind of a position where if you had
Yeah.
someone that's not so biased, where you could talk to somebody. Hence our little group of women who talk with each other. We talk about stuff that I'm sure you don't, Dawn, for instance, you don't talk to Eli about. I mean, I talk
Oh,
to Tia about
definitely.
stuff that I haven't probably talked to my sister about you know so it's that kind of a thing.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Now, Sandra, are you checking out the Giants score, babe?
Oh, no, the Giants game is over.
Oh,
It's over
well,
probably.
Oh, and we won.
okay.
Yay!
So we're just gonna mention this here. Um, Dawn is gonna step away to use the restroom real quick. We're gonna just keep on rolling, and she'll be right back. I'm gonna switch on over to uh, the StreamYard screen for a second. You let me know when you're coming back in, so
Yeah.
we don't have to edit this. It's all good.
Fantastic.
So now, Sandra,
Mhm.
you are the director of public relations, and there's a reason why we made you that. You definitely have been doing that for me without me even noticing it for years. And I actually, maybe I did notice it, but it's just, it until we really got the organization going and started, putting titles in place. You know, you know, it didn't, it mattered, but, calling it a title without an organization doesn't matter. But you basically have been helping me for years. Share with me some of the things that you feel you're going to bring in that aspect, and what have you share some of the things you've done to help me. You have tried to help me many times. I want people to know because finally I'm at the point right now. Don and I are in a great place, and we are open to criticism even from our own people like you and Tia. Right, Don? Don is back.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry for the interruption.
It's okay.
Nature calls.
So I think
Sandra's going to be talking about director of public relations right now.
Okay.
Okay.
also my whole thing too, Eli, with you, and from the beginning I could see stuff. And I was actually I think I told you this before. I was actually going to make an appointment with you, to, a one-on-one appointment, to tell you what I thought you were doing was wrong. How you were handling people, how you back then. Now, let's just put it this way. Back then it's a lot different than it is now.
Oh, it
And we're
is.
talking
It was.
years. Things can happen. Things
Yep.
happen in a year's time, in months' time. Now I'm talking years, so
Mhm.
I'm talking back 8 years ago. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So back then,
Absolutely.
there were things that were going on, and I'm like, gosh, this guy he could really do some good, but he has to knock off this. He has to knock off that because he's driving people away. And that's what I would
Mm-hmm.
see just by the way sometimes. And again, we're talking 8 years ago. You've grown a lot since then. But I could
Thank
see
you.
some of that stuff going on, and I'm like, golly. And I would tell you too over the years, I would tell you, and I get in your face as well. You say you listen now, so that's a good thing. But I mean,
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
I don't, I don't
Well, you
usually.
can thank Don for that. Don has played a huge role in that. And a good woman will ground a man and balance him. I've always said that, and I finally found one that
Well,
does. But go ahead, Sandra.
well, yeah, and that's just the thing. Here we are as a group that we have to be able to without getting, butt hurt, because when I come across things, I don't come across as being mean. I don't come across as, I come across more of, you're doing this. How about you doing it this way? If you're doing that, don't use those words. I tell you that too, right? I still tell you that. Don't use those
You
words.
do.
Oh, so do I.
Project
Yep.
anger. And you don't
Mhm.
want to project anger, because when you project anger, people go on the
That's what you
defensive.
get back.
So,
Mhm.
there's certain things like that I would tell you. Oh, I've told you a lot of stuff about the years, but that was it, because I knew you could grow. I knew you could do good things, but I could also see the stuff that was blocking you. And so
Yeah.
even like doing this, like right now, I mean, I'm involved in a couple of things here now where I'm at. Um, for instance, I'm leading a Bible study for teenagers and
Hmm.
little kids, but lately teenagers. So I'm doing,
Oh.
things like that. It takes a certain kind of a patience and, and a focus, because there's sometimes too, you got to be grounded. So anyway, for those and positive, some people today, there were people in my class that were new and didn't know certain things, and it was okay. They had to know that it was okay, because okay, they didn't know how things work. And you know what? We're going to explain it to you. So the same thing goes for this too, where people are going to come in and think, gosh, what can they do for me? What do I expect? And what they should expect is that we're a group of people here, uh, positive people that want to bring that kind of a mindset and a headset, you know, to a community. Um, and that's where you have to go with that. 'Cause some people, they're so hurt, they're so down, they just need the support of a friendly face, if you will, meaning talking,
Yeah.
they just need that kind of a support. So, and then, like I say, that's why I think we should, that we're going to go with that. But as far as, like I said, with uh, getting this started, and now in groups that I'm in, once we start getting going, I could even promote to them, say, hey, you got to listen to our stuff here. So it's a crossover. It's a cross between what we do, people we meet, people we meet in stores. I've been going lately to parades and stuff. I talk to people. I could talk to them and say, hey, you know what? Check us out over here on. And that's what I plan on doing when we get this start settled and put in place a little more foundation. That's where I see this going.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that
Before
sounds great.
Yeah, thank you, babe. But thank you, Sandra. Before I want to get Tia's response to what Sandra said. Sandra, let us ask you one more thing here. For now, at least. The topic is grown adults on social media stuck on stupid. Tia shared some great thoughts. You're going to have to watch that part that you missed and hear what she said. But we want to,
Okay.
and what's actually good that you weren't here, so you will probably say something,
Pretty similar.
different. Not saying
No,
you wouldn't have
but
otherwise, but
different but similar nature.
yeah, different but similar. This will be interesting. So, what are your thoughts regarding people being stuck on stupid, not just on YouTube, but social media in
Or
general? But it's
just people that you know in general.
yeah. Well, it's social media. Babe.
No, even people you know personally can be stuck on stupid.
Well, that's true, but the topic is grown adults on social
Yes.
media stuck on stupid, because we know people on social media do a lot of shit they would never do in the real world,
Oh,
right?
I'm just pointing out they could be anywhere on
Yeah.
social media, on TV. They could be on the radio. They could be your best friend. You never know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Sandra.
The thing about that is being stuck on anything is not being able to want to change. That's the whole
Exactly.
thing with being stuck. If you're stuck
Mhm.
somewhere, it's because, gosh, where do I go? Well, you got to make the move to get out. You got to break on through to the other side. You got to break
Break
on
on
through
through.
to that, you see.
That's wonderful.
And that's the thing about being stuck. And so even us, we get stuck, we get in, right? Sometimes,
Oh,
sometimes,
Uh-oh.
we lost your
Sandra, we
sometimes
voice.
cannot
people in
hear you. There you
Oh,
go.
here we
relationships.
go.
I had a phone call come in. I'm sorry.
Oh,
What
that's
was I
okay. Go ahead.
saying?
Oh,
Okay, we get in a rut. Sometimes relationships get in a rut. So to me, you're stuck. you're stuck. And someone has to make their move to get out. And so some of these people that are on social media that get stuck in a certain jargon, in a certain, whatever they're doing, they don't know how to get out. And since it's working, they think it's okay. If they're doing stupid stuff, like I say, I've been in a lot of these communities and I'm seeing some of the stuff that goes on. You think it's bad in here, you see some of the other stuff that goes on. And it's
Oh,
just
it's
that it's
worse.
working and they're making a little bit of money, but they don't want to change. They don't want to change because one, they might lose that audience. But two, it might even be for the better, you know. They there's a lot of stuff. This is such a wide thing of web on YouTube that you could do so many things. I mean, hell, I'm into now with the baking and doing all this stuff, So, gosh, I might even start doing that. Some people
I
have
would
other
love to do
skills.
that.
Some people, have skills with the Bible verses or something or whatever. Like,
Right.
what RJ was doing some of that for a
Yeah.
while.
We
So it's
are
just like
here to
certain,
praise the
yeah,
Lord. Like RJ Sandra on YouTube, the
yeah.
blind autistic YouTuber who I'd love to be friends with, but these people kept fucking with us, Sandra, and we just let it go
Oh,
because
I
we didn't
know.
want to go back and forth. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the other thing too. Okay, if you want to say kind of like even with that, it's just people that just get stuck in that route. And some people like it there. They're comfortable being miserable, or they're comfortable being mean, or they're comfortable. I don't understand how people could be like that to other people. I
Well, why do
mean,
you
no
think? Why
one
do you think
likes
they're
it when
doing
it's
that?
done to them. No one likes
Yeah,
when
but
it's
why?
being
Right.
done to them.
Right,
Why?
but why do
Because
you
I think
think?
they're unhappy with themselves. And the thing is, it's when you have that much hate, you want to project it out because that hate you project out is actually what you feel about yourself. That's how I feel. I really do. Even when
Yep.
I sometimes when you're in an argument and you start in with that and you got to turn it around and think, gosh, what am I really mad about here?
Right.
And many a time you can flip it and see that it's actually coming from your
Mm-hmm.
inside, something that you're dealing with, something that it's
Mm-hmm.
you see it's coming out as something a problem with you that you're
Right.
forcing it out or someone triggers that and you just it's subconsciously you don't even know what's going on. I've caught that in me a few times too,
Oh,
and hence why
that
you go and
happens.
apologize because you know it's hard, you know. These feelings and emotions are a strange thing. Empathy. Some of these people don't have the empathy at all. They
Right.
don't feel anything. They
But they
feel
say they do,
nothing,
Sandra.
and that's
Sandra, they say
sad.
we were talking about this earlier. They say they do, and this is where maybe Tia can come on in and share her thoughts about what you said because we were talking about, there's some creators that have come at me that claim to have empathy, and they say they're taking donations for a good cause or for another nonprofit, but
Ah,
they share their own PayPal link instead of sharing the link to donate directly to the nonprofit. And listen, folks, don't be stupid and donate to a creator that says, I'm taking donations for this. Any legitimate nonprofit organization is going to have their own donation link, and you should donate directly. They should be promoting that. This is the kind of stuff. But yeah, they say they have empathy, but then they do things that are counterproductive towards that, or that are the opposite of that, right? Sorry, not counterproductive, that contradict what they're saying, right? Like
that's but Pokey, you got to look at it this way though. It's not so much. I think there's grifting there. I do, but the other thing is who's getting the notoriety for giving that donation. Not you, Don, Tia, me, or whoever who actually put the money in, but that person who's collecting it and putting it in. You see? So
Mhm.
now the whole thing switches. Oh, this you know Audrey person, for instance. Oh, this Audrey person donated $50 this month. Oh, this Audrey person donated. So now who gets the attention besides all the little people that
right.
actually put funds in here? Audrey. You see? So there's a
Mhm.
little bit of why people do that. And again, I think some people skim off it and I think they grift off it. I've
Right.
seen that. I've seen that a few times, even with the
Oh
one
yeah.
guy we were talking about earlier.
And the other woman,
I
the other
remember when
woman.
that went down, that was kind of
Yeah.
funny. But that,
There's been several grifters, but go ahead.
Yeah, we know, and it is going to happen. And yeah, maybe they should say, hey, you know what, this person I know. For instance, there was doing a fundraiser, and they were like, for the Carolinas, and they were like, look, this guy is doing this on behalf of his church up there, and so if you want, send the donations to that church, it'll get to whoever through whoever, and then the guy came on and said, whatever. So there's things like that you could do, but I think a lot of it is there's a lot of the grifters out there. We know that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot more
I like that.
grifting than legitimacy within these drama shit show groups, or like Tia was mentioning the drama community, a combination of true crime and drama, where these true crime channels that couldn't make it doing the actual true crime content started doing drama and fighting with other true crime channels, talking about things that have nothing to do with true crime, just shit talking, right? Tia, what are your thoughts about what Sandra has said? What are your thoughts there?
You mean about just the way people are, like, in general?
Whatever, everything she said,
based on what Sandra was saying.
Yeah, including her position as director of public relations and what she's going to be doing and what she's done, all of that stuff. I'm sorry, let me be a little more clear there.
Well, I think when you had said Sandra will be the
Tia,
you're cutting in and out. Are you there?
I'm here.
I hear her
still cutting in and out.
You sound like you're underwater. You may want to leave and come back in. It'll probably fix that.
I hear her clearly.
You do?
Can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah, I hear you clearly.
Well,
Tia.
I hear you, but you're broken up.
Oh, I'm getting her loud and clear. Go ahead, Tia. Can you speak?
Yeah, am I okay now?
Oh, you're good now.
Oh, now you're good. That was weird. That was happening on our end there, but now you sound so much better. Okay.
Well, we got real crappy weather, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Like freezing rain. But anyway, when you said that you were having Sandra be the director of communications, right?
Operations.
Public relations.
Operations. Public relations,
PR,
yes.
PR,
I'm sorry.
the PR director, public relations.
That's right.
Yeah.
PR.
Yeah, I said right away that is perfect for Sandra because she's got the personality. I always say to talk and just be friendly to people, more outgoing. I think it's perfect for Sandra. I do. It would fit Sandra much more than myself. As far as people and like, okay, if you're talking about grifting and the way people are, and she was talking about a lot of things like empathy and, kind of like personality. And I do not believe that a person that says they have empathy, you have to almost like or almost love everybody. I'm empathetic, and people that say they have empathy, I don't think they know what empathy is. You just can't hate. You're just naturally born to care about people. And I'm not giving any of us pats on the back, but we are all like that. And I think it's a good quality, but a lot of people think they have it and they're far from it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they have two personalities, like,
right.
Come on, how, it's fake. very fake.
Right. And Tia, real quick here. Even when I'm going at people on YouTube or social media and calling them out, I think you ladies know that, and maybe we can find a better way to do it, or maybe this is the best way to do it, because I'm calling people out with love. And the thing is, there are so many stubborn people out there. There are so many spoiled and entitled people out there. We're living in a world of spoiled people and entitled people, and we're not going to even mention that generation.
We're not going to mention
my lady will slap me.
Any generation.
Any generation can be spoiled and entitled, but we know there's been one that's been more than ever. We're not going to say that.
We're not talking about that.
I know that. But when I call out these people, and I even say, hey, you're stupid or you're acting stupid, it's basically saying, wake the fuck up. You're worth it, and you're better than that.
You deserve more.
You deserve more for yourself. And if people keep giving you a fucking pacifier and saying what you're doing is okay, like a lot of these audiences that follow creators when they do dumb things, they basically just go along with it. And it's like giving a baby a pacifier. You're not going to teach the underlying lesson. And they're going to think they're doing nothing wrong, and they're never going to better themselves. So even when we're doing that, we are doing that with love and empathy. But the people that are just not ready to identify their mistakes and accept responsibility, they're going to think that we're not empathetic. And until they realize that they need to, accept responsibility for their own actions and that they're actually screwing up and they need help, no one can help them. Not even themselves.
But they don't care.
That's
the bottom line.
Right.
That they don't care. It's just like, you're trying to teach a kid to do something, and what they're going to do whatever they want anyway. Sometimes, it's
just
that kind of a mentality.
Yeah.
That they don't care. They don't. It's
That's
sad,
like,
because then they want the empathy. How many times have we seen a certain person that they get mad because now everybody's attacking them? Right. And it's like, dude,
right.
You're the one that goes and attacks everybody and does worse things than what's happening. And then now you're crying because now everybody's turning on you.
It's hypocritical.
But that's what I'm trying to say is that they don't care when it's, when it's them doing it. But when it comes back, oh my gosh. So there's no, there's that sympathy. They want sympathy. That's not no empathy. There's a difference there.
Yeah. But a lot of people out here, what they'll do is that they'll do the fake, like I mentioned earlier, and I'll add this, they'll do the fake instigated drama and then come off hypocritical on purpose. And they know they're being hypocritical, but they don't say anything because that's part of their shtick. That's part of their skit, right? Like that Jay guy,
Right.
we've talked about, right? So, he'll go and do stupid shit to, have content to talk about to his stuck on stupid audience, right? And then other creators he may be talking about will come at him, and then he'll get super triggered over that when he's done worse, right? And then he'll sound like a hypocrite, and he knows he's a hypocrite, but it doesn't matter. He still has to play the role, or he's out of fucking business. But the underlying issue is the fact that he's stuck on stupid. For example, this person's stuck on stupid. And he thinks that he can't do any better than this, because if he thought he could, he would focus on that and stop doing this. I think that's part of the issue, right, Sandra?
Those actions get him a little bit of what he wants too. It's almost like when the kid goes and plays. It goes when the one kid goes and plays the mother against the father. Those actions
that happens in divorce all the time.
Well, then those actions still get him some kind of attention or whatever the heck he wants. So it's a double sword there, and it's really kind of a creepy kind of a thing. It really is.
Well, Sandra, it's called pinning and pitting people against each other. It's the same thing that guy has done to myself and other people when we try to collaborate with other creators. He gets in the way and tells the other side one thing, tells me one thing, and then he gets us to fight when we were friends. And then he makes it his content. Then he takes the other person over there, right? And it's a really, really shiesty way of doing things, right? There's nothing illegal about it, but it's very unethical, and it's very stuck on stupid, in my opinion. Don't you think?
It is, but look at the people too. I
Mhm.
mean, the people that follow. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I'm not that kind of a person. Yeah, I'm not.
Hmm.
So I don't understand why all these sheep are like that. I don't understand why there's so many sheep with that kind of
They're
And I
like-minded.
feel a
mentality.
lot
They're
of
in this.
right. A lot of those people
They are
that
all
follow,
sheeps.
th-
All of them are.
they're all kind of in the same boat. They're depressed.
Right.
They don't
Yeah.
have happy lives, so they fit in. It's like their little fun time, and you know, um, it's. And I want to mention this because you can, Eli, like go at people a lot on your streams, but 90% of the time, you always say, I love everybody. So, and nobody would say that, if they didn't mean it. They know you. And that's what
Huh.
bothers me is you're trying to help them. And it's almost like you're treating them like a child, like Sandra was saying, like you're talking down to them. But sometimes it's like, do they get it? Do they understand that you are really trying to help?
They don't
And
believe Atia, that was, and somebody said that too, one of them. They don't believe, how can he love everybody? And me being a Christian woman, I mean, you might, and an adult, and being maybe a parent, it's like you love your kids unconditionally. Okay. You love everybody unconditionally to a sense, right? You don't like their actions, but that doesn't mean you don't love them, right? A
right,
Right.
mother can have a drug. Look what happens. Father could have a drug addict son, whatever, right? They still love them. They still love them. That's their child. They still love them, no matter what. They still love them. You can still love somebody, but just not like their actions. I don't like that you're taking drugs. I don't
Exactly.
like that you're whoring around. I don't like that you're doing this and that. But you could still love. See, they don't get that. Some of them will even say, "How could he say he loves everybody?" Well, you know what? He does. He says it. He means it. Yeah, okay. So you don't, okay. But don't take that. Yeah, I'm in the same thing. I love everybody. Yeah, you might do me wrong and somebody might do me wrong and I might get pissed off,
right.
but that don't
But I'm
mean
the same way too. I care and love about everybody. That's just the way I am.
you divorce yourself from them, or if they're not in your life or not meant to be in your life, you get away from them. I have a friend right
Yeah.
now that he was going to church and stuff and he got real sick. We almost lost him. And he's like
Oh,
one of my
wow.
best friends. And I after some of the stuff I've been going through, I was just so heartbroken. And so he told me, I asked him about when he was going to church, this church, because I had gone to visit him and I was going to go to church with him. He goes, I don't go there no more. I go, why? He goes, well, I got into it one of the guys, and I'm not going back. I says, well, that's a
Oh,
shame that you let
wow.
somebody, one person, keep you away from going to this church you've been going to for how long? And that's his, in his mind, he
Um,
likes going to church. So he got sick. He was been in the hospital for, he was in the hospital in ICU for 2 weeks, and then he had to go to like a little nursing home to rehab. He came back and he tells me, you know what? He goes, I went back to church. He says, and
oh,
people missed me.
Uh,
He's a gun carrier. He keeps them safe. And he says, I thought to myself, why should I just let one person take all what I loved having here away from me?
Right.
He says, so now I'm coming back. So you see, that was the love of those people too, that he didn't come. They still loved him, and he forgives this guy. He's like, this guy too.
oh,
He says,
wow.
I just like, you
Wow.
know what? It's okay. It's okay, but just a turnaround. So this is what I'm saying about the love thing. You still,
Right, right.
he might have hurt him, but he still cared for the guy. You know. So that happened.
Don, go ahead and respond to that, and then I want to say something afterwards because I want to give. I'm sorry, my lady keeps me in check. I love her and I respect her. Talking a little too much, and I'm sorry about that. I want to give her credit. She's a lover. Floor is yours.
all right. I'm going to come at it with a different view. yes, we're born with love and empathy in our hearts. And I don't believe that you can love everybody unconditionally. That I don't feel, I feel that's something special between a parent and their child. Even a husband and a wife, or just a couple in general. Like that could be unconditional love. And that falls with, is your spouse, doing something wrong? Whether, and I'm not saying really wrong. I'm saying, are they, blowing all your money at the casino? Are they getting drunk and losing it? Are they addicted to drugs? Okay.
Uh-huh.
If you love that person and they are your person, you're going to fight for them. And that's what we're getting down to, is we do have empathy in our hearts for who deserves it. If you don't want to accept my empathy, then I'm going to keep walking and move away, because I'm not going to get stuck on stupid.
Exactly.
That I would be stuck on stupid then. So I don't come in being as loving and respectful, because I'm, especially after what I've gone through on YouTube, I'm very standbackish, and I've learned a lot.
Standoffish.
And I've learned a lot about humans in this time on YouTube. Now, prior to dating Eli, I've never gone on YouTube. No desire. Nothing.
Now you're a star.
Now I'm a star.
Look, sorry, I forgot to say how beautiful Dawn looks today. I know you ladies can't see her on StreamYard. You'll see it on the when it gets released on YouTube. But Dawn, you look amazing and beautiful. Go ahead, finish up. I want to see something real quick after you're done, and then we'll turn it back to the ladies.
Yeah, that's just basically, you have to earn it, is what I'm trying to say. You have to show me that you're a good person. You have to show me that you have empathy in your heart. Then you have my empathy. And I mean, but I walk into a grocery store. I have no problem with anybody. I have I have concern for everybody, because what if something happens? I have empathy if somebody gets hurt.
Right.
Or you
have empathy in general is what you're saying, right?
Yes, yeah, but I'm not going to be empathetic for every human. I don't have the time to do.
You're saying you're not going to be what do you call it? You're not going to have that unconditional empathy, but you're going to have just empathy in general for anyone and everyone. And that's exactly what we're saying. I'm glad you brought it up, because a lot of people have said,
want people to think we were all just peace, love, and happiness.
Well, yeah, and they said about me, babe, the people I've been accused of, how can Eli love everyone? Not everyone loves everyone. No, there are certain things I don't like about people, but in general, I wish no harm upon anyone. And I wish the best for everyone.
Yeah, I want to go
that's
on.
Having a reasonable level of empathy for people. But go ahead.
I wanted to go on record saying I don't want anybody to get hurt. That's
right.
Bottom line. I don't want anybody
including
to get hurt.
Donald J. Trump.
You know what? That crossed my mind, but I wasn't.
I had to ask her that. I'm sorry. I had to ask you that.
Well,
Louise.
Okay, I gotta say, even though I didn't like Biden, I still prayed for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We didn't wish him. Yeah, she didn't wish Biden harm, so we can't wish Trump any harm.
All I'm saying is I'm not getting on my knees and praying for that man. I'm sorry. I'm not getting on my knees and praying.
Okay. Well, I come from things in a little different way, because I don't want to go, because my whole thing is I don't like politics and I don't like to talk religion. They're two things that are very personal to people,
limits.
and I don't like to really.
Amen to that.
So I'm just going to leave it there.
I've had a best friend for 14 years, maybe 16 years now. And I did not know her political, like what she thought politically. I did not know what she is religiously. She's still my best friend. I don't need to know that. It's none of my business. We just keep to ourselves. And that's how, as humans, we can get along. You keep throwing in the hate, at somebody who doesn't even deserve it.
Yeah, but you found out recently she's conservative, and you still love her, and I love her
God,
too.
I love her.
She's a good person. It doesn't matter. Like those are just the political party system should be thrown the fuck out, and even a lot of people are saying that it's really causing more division than uniting us. But let me say something real quick. Are you
Go ahead?
So I'm going to say this because it needs to be said, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if you're a little kid growing up and you go into your parents' room and you find a videotape of if you're a little boy and you find a videotape of your mother getting plowed by the BBC, and your father is recording your mother getting plowed by the BBC. We all know what the BBC is. And then she's pregnant at the same time, and the father's sitting there like a cuckold, which is what he is. How's that going to, and I'm only putting that out there because we do know someone that's been through that and it's been affecting him. How do you think that would affect someone? I'm asking a serious question. I'm not trying to be mean. I want to get your opinions. That is traumatic. Don't you
That
really
is a
think?
very traumatic
Don't you think?
event for anybody. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The fact that he has that trauma, yes, he needs to deal with that. He needs professional help to get through that part of his life. He's going to be angry and resentful. And you know what? That may stand to some of the resentment that he has towards women.
Exactly.
The way he treats them.
What about anything else you want to mention about that, or should we get Sandra's opinion?
We can turn it over to the ladies, and then
Sandra, share with us what you think about that, and then we'll go to Tia because you know who we're talking about. But you don't have to mention names.
The thing is, I see it a lot in a lot of these, even parents. They don't realize that the things that they do affects their kids. They want to live a lifestyle, and they're going to live that lifestyle. They look at the people that are in marriages and that have the husband has 5 wives, et cetera, et cetera.
Polygamy.
Polygamy.
I don't think that's normal, but see, some of these people, they're exposed to it. They think it's okay. They grow up with it, right?
Whoa.
But
Well, that's just the state of Utah.
One is enough for me, I'll tell you that. One is more than enough for me, man.
I'm way too expensive. He couldn't afford 2 of us.
But look at some of these people, though, that are realizing, like, this isn't right. And they want to escape, and they can't escape. So what I'm saying is that adults, they don't realize that what they're doing to their kids, or their kids see it. Okay, there's one right now that I know of, and she's a beautiful lady. Has 2 kids from 2 different fathers. She goes out with all these guys, right? Goes out with guys, and then she'll introduce them, and then they're gone. And these kids get traumatized because they're like, here we're used to having so and so around for like over a year. Now you're telling me I can't talk to him. Don't block him. Don't text him. If he texts you, let me know. And that causing confusion for the kids. So these people don't realize that what they do, what they say, affects their kid. They don't realize it. Now, it don't matter. You could be a little kid. Things stick with you. That inner child, things still stick with you. Even when you're an adult. I had one friend. This was how sad. He was 35. And they went to a family reunion. He has 8 brothers. Okay. He was adopted. No one told him he was adopted.
Oh my God, really?
The one aunt thought everybody knew.
Wow.
She thought he knew he was adopted. Okay,
wow.
He didn't know, is what I'm saying. She goes to him and says, you know what? I'm so glad that your mom adopted you. You just fit right in. He looked at him and he's like, what? 35 years old. Okay. So, and his wife was like, he was traumatized. He was like hurt and upset because no one said. They're like, why should that bother you? Why should, people are, why does that bother you? Well, I'm not in his skin. But do you understand? But do you see? So even it don't matter if you're little, if you're 10, if you're 15, if you're what the people 35. You love and the people around you do affects you. Now,
right.
Some people can just write it off. I have a brother.
You never know what he's thinking now.
No, but my brother did drugs, he drank. Okay. He had his 5 kids. The one guy is a millionaire over. Okay. The other kid acts like his dad. And he's like, well, my dad acted like that. That's why I'm that way. I says, no, don't give me that shit. Your brother's over there making literally a millionaire. I says, so you guys grew up in the same household. So it's how you do things, you know? Now, some people can't keep things out of their head. It dwells in them, right? But then look at my nephew, Anthony. His name's Anthony. I look at him. He he rose high and above it because he says, I didn't want to be that man. I didn't want to be like him. I saw what it did to my family. Okay. So, it's just how it affects kids, differently. But yeah, adults don't realize. That's why even I watch myself. I have to put myself in check. I'm myself around them, but I also try to be a good example. And if I say that I'm this kind of a person, I want them to know I'm this kind of a person. If I say I
Mm-hmm.
do things for others, I want them to know that I actually do those things for others. I don't just talk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Well said. Tia, anything you want to add to that before we're going to go to final thoughts after this, because we are at 1 hour and 45 minutes. What a great show so far, huh, ladies?
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to add that, just real quick, that I feel that Jamie, and this was brought up, we were trying to kind of talk about it, but he never said whether he brought it up to his parents. And I think that would be therapeutic, even though hard for him. His parents owe him an explanation. I think his parents messed him up. I blame a lot
Oh,
on the
yeah.
parents.
No
I
doubt.
do. And
Yeah.
I do.
I feel in that way, I feel bad for Jamie. I do.
I do
I
too.
do.
I think Tia, real quick, I think before we get back to you, I think we all feel bad for the guy, and
But
we
I
all
could
feel
say I feel bad, but I don't empathize.
well, the thing is, we feel bad for what happened, but that doesn't mean he has to take it out on everyone. He's almost 40 years old, and by now he should have
Right.
figured some stuff out on his own and let it go for the most part. But his parents do owe him. Obviously he continues to behave in erratic ways. He has a lack of faith in himself and a lack of self-love. He has a lack of purpose. The man is almost 40 years old and he's still struggling to figure out what the fuck his purpose is. So how can you even blame him for behaving that way, right? I'm not trying to say it's right, it's not right, but can you blame a man that is so lost and feels such a lack of purpose? A man is defined by his purpose, and nowadays women being liberated, they're pretty much there as well. They're defined by their purpose too. If you have no
We've
purpose,
always had a purpose. It's not just because now advancements. Women, we've all had a purpose. Whether it was just to be the wife and mother, that was the purpose
to
of
raise the
that time.
kids, take care of the home and all that, while the purpose of the man was to go and kick ass
Provide.
and kill the animals and provide and protect and provide. But now we're both doing it because women have been liberated. I'm all good with that, right? But yeah, the problem here is this guy is lacking purpose, and he knows it. He knows he's lacking purpose, and he's stuck on stupid because that's the closest thing to any purpose he's ever had. That's what I think. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. I don't think he ever really thought about a purpose.
Tia, go ahead. Sorry.
He's so stubborn that everything, he thinks he's always right. I think he's a bit narcissistic, and that's why he doesn't want to take any advice, because he kind of thinks he knows it all, and that's in my opinion, is part of his problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he would never seek out therapy,
oh God, no.
Or then he should confront his parents and battle it out that way. They owe him. They really do.
They owe him something. Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
He's 40 years old. Get a set of balls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? It's never too late.
No, it's never too late for anything. But as far as the
I did.
narcissistic thing, I think I think maybe there's some there, but you got to look into how that evolves, too.
Right.
So, but honestly, J- Jamie's Jamie has some talent. He's a smart guy. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I could have seen him doing some stuff. I don't know. At one time, he's probably listening, but at one time he used to always say that he thought I hated him. I don't know how he got that because I never hated him. I never even said I hated him. I donated to him quite a bit, and during the time, but I never did not like him. I might not like some of the stuff he did, but here we go with keeping that separate. Some of the stuff for the antics or things he says I might not like, but I never
Hmm.
not liked him, and I could see so much potential in him in other things, but it's the direction, and sometimes again, we get comfortable with where we are. We get comfortable. Okay, we're here. We're at this level. I'm making a little bit of money. I have some friends. I'm okay here. Oh, here we go about being stuck. Okay.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
can
yeah.
do
I
some
mean, he
stuff.
could do
He
so
can.
much
He's
with
a
graphic
talented
design.
stuff. Well, he has
Yeah, I
he
mean,
has a degree. Go back to school. Things change, and I know they do. And I mentioned, I think his parents or his dad's an artist. I'm not sure what type. I'm not sure if he paints or sculpts or whatever. But so there's
Yeah,
something
I'm not
in the
sure.
genes there. But he's a smart guy, and I like. I mean, I like Jamie. Jamie, I might not like some of the stuff you do, but I have no animosity towards you. I really think that you could be doing some stuff. You have some following. You I don't know what. I mean, I don't know what your interests are, but I know that you can, if you put your mind to it, you can do something, hon. You can
You
go
know,
another way, get out of this drama shit.
yeah. And Sandra, before we go to final thoughts, I just want to say this. Um, you know, uh, I think the reason why he's so stubborn in his ways is because um, and he has to always get his way, or it's his way or the highway. It's because his parents have never given in to him. His parents have always told him no. He's never felt accepted. I don't think he, like we've said, I don't think he feels accepted or acceptance through his own parents, both of them, to this day. So when he hasn't got that from
Mm,
them, everyone else that doesn't, comply with him, he's going to relate that to the relationship with his parents, and he's going to react the same way. Right. And I think that's what it all boils down to. This guy has not received the nurturing love he deserves. And the traumatic event I mentioned earlier, he's dealt with. And we mention him because he's a prime example. There are many people in a similar situation with similar or a little different type of trauma. And until you address it head on and try to, address it with the people that created the trauma for you, or if they're not willing to give you that or they're not around anymore, then you got to see a therapist and a psychologist or both and get the help you need so you can function, so you can be able to function, right? You're right, Sandra. This guy's very talented, and he's wasting his life away. He's gained a lot of weight. He's
Yep.
very unhealthy. He's over 300 pounds, and he's pre-diabetic. And honestly, this dude is going to die before 50 or even 45 if he keeps going this way. He is, and he doesn't get that. Anyway, that's my thought.
that's too
Everyone's
bad.
quiet. I mean, that
It's
hit the
No,
nail
no,
okay.
we're just
on the
listening to
head, right?
no, just listening, to what you say. I really hope that you say about his medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
I, if that's true, I'm hoping he goes to the doctor because things happen. We don't even realize that we're sick until we go and get blood
No
work, until
shit.
we go and get a checkup
Right.
and stuff. And
No
I
shit.
go.
Look at me.
I've always gone to go get my checkup because I don't want it to say, well, you know what, Sandra, if you were here a year ago, da 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 da. No, that will never happen. So, it's important to see what's going on, with your health, especially as you start getting older. Your body changes, everything changes. All this stuff
It all
going through
starts around
stress.
40.
Well,
Yeah,
right,
and it all
Dawn,
starts
you can
changing
attest to the
around
stress,
40.
all these hormones that go through you when you have stress issues, when you have those
Mhm.
kind
Oh
of
my
issues.
God.
It changes your
Yeah.
mechanism, and then you're running on that level, and you don't even realize your blood pressure is up because you're so used to running on a certain level. It's not until you get right until you get that checkup or whatever, and they're going to go, holy cow, you wouldn't even know it
Mhm.
because you're so used to running on that one level. So if he is that way, if he does have a health issues, Jamie, please go see a doctor or something. Just check out just to
Yeah.
see how
You
you're
know,
doing, because
and
it's important.
I
Yeah.
want to say, just maybe in defense of Jamie, is maybe he has a fear of doctors. A lot of people do. They do have that fear of walking in there with 100 different diagnoses after walking in there feeling fine. You know, the
Yeah.
people do
I never
generally
thought
have a
about that.
fear. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That could be just a denial part of his life.
I hope he has insurance. That's
Well,
my I think the concern here is that he doesn't have insurance or doesn't have good insurance. Um, I hope he has insurance, and if he does, he should use it. And if he doesn't have insurance, he needs to get it. Like, that's the bottom line. But that's going to be up to him. I think we've drilled this one as far as we can, right, ladies? I think we should start
Okay. Yes.
wrapping things up. We're at an hour and 56 minutes here. Dawn, we're gonna give the ladies final thoughts, and then we're gonna put them backstage, and you and I are gonna end the show ourselves. You're gonna give your final thoughts, and then I'll do mine.
yeah.
But
Okay.
let's start off with Tia.
Tia.
Tia, go ahead and give us your final thoughts today.
Well, I think the show was interesting. I think a lot came out, a lot of good things, a lot of information. This could have went another hour, really. I mean,
Easily.
there's a lot. Yeah. And I hope whoever listens to this, really takes to heart what we're trying to get across. And the biggest thing is, whatever you hear, and I've said this one other time, the GNA is a safe place. And we've all been in the drama sphere, chromosphere, whatever you want to call it. And it's not healthy, it's not good, if that's what you like. But I've seen more and more people say, yeah, I took a break for a while, I'm back now, I couldn't take the drama. People are getting tired of it. And, the GNA is good for many things, not just YouTube, but personal things you're having problems with. You can always email Eli. Eventually we'll have emails, but there was a lot to take in, but we are truly, and I say this, sincerely, that we really do want to help, and that is our whole purpose. And there is not many creators out here that not in this community that have that. I see a few more Bible ones, which is great, but this is different, and I think it is going to be successful, that I know. But you don't be afraid to reach out. I was very leery because I was going to leave, but I'm so glad I didn't.
So are we.
I think
We're glad too, as well.
thanks. But yeah, it's a good thing, and I just hope you guys who listen really take advantage of the GNA. Yeah, that's about it that I have for last thoughts.
Okay, and I just want to just say something about your final thoughts. When you guys are thinking about emailing us, if one of our stories relates to you, you could do just a one-on-one, and you could pick any one of us that you would relate to the most. And so that's the beauty of having all of us with our stories and our experiences.
Right.
To get out there,
Right.
and if somebody is struggling, just to give them that motivation that they need to move forward. Yeah.
Amen to that. I completely and wholeheartedly agree with that. Tia, anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay, hang on there a second, Tia. Let's go to Sandra Palacio for her final thoughts. Sandra, I'm glad you were able to make it.
I know I missed a lot.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I was going to say too, what you were saying, Dawn. We have many experiences between us all. We've all been through something. It even makes us all unique, where we can relate. I've talked to Tia. We have a couple things in common, and I've talked to Dawn. I talked to Eli. So we all have things that we all bring to the table, and we help each other with. But I agree too, Tia. Don't be afraid to come. Talk to us. We're here to help you. We're here for support. And in any way we can, we can help. It's kind of hard sometimes, especially with certain things. We're not psychiatrists, we're not professional counselors, but we are here to listen. And maybe something that we do have to say may relate and may help. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
Well, wow.
That's
I
wonderful. That's
I
great.
mean, you ladies said it perfectly. I got nothing more to say, at least to what you said. I want to thank you, Sandra and Tia, for being here. Sandra is the Director of Public Relations, and Tia is the Director of Special Events, both on the GNA executive team here. They will eventually be getting a GNA Network branded email. It's already, I already have the structure for it and the server for it. I just need to create the emails and then get that all going and update the website with the new positions and all that. But you'll be able to reach out to Tia and Sandra directly. Anything you want to say to Tia and Sandra, babe, before we start wrapping this up?
Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. It's been a great show. Learned a lot, like Tia said, very informative. And it was just great to have you guys here. So thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm
Love
gonna put
you.
you ladies. I'm gonna put you ladies backstage, and if you want to listen to our final thoughts, you can. If not, you can
Okay.
wait for the show. Thank you, ladies. Have a good one. Bye bye now,
Bye-bye.
ladies. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right.
Here we go.
Okay. Whoa.
Whoa, what's going on?
There we go. Let's go back to full screen and get your final thoughts, babe.
Alrighty. Like I was saying before, great show. Very informative. I really like that we touched on, excuse me, we touched on the individual strengths that we all have as being members of the GNA. Eli has gone through his whole, his own life struggles, happiness, success, as well as Sandra, Tia, and I. So we like to share that with you and just encourage you to share your story and be proud of your story at the end of it, because you've done the work and you've succeeded and you're finally at a place where you have peace and happiness. So that's pretty much my final thought. I thank you all for watching. And now I'm going to hand it over to the main man here, Eli, on his final thoughts.
Wow. Well, you ladies pretty much said it all. And, yeah, there's, not much more to say on the topic here or anything. Like, that's why, first of all, you're the love of my life.
Thank you.
And you are my business partner, and you've always been my business partner since we've been together. You've been a huge instrumental part in taking a vision that I created a while back to the next level. You've added so much more value, not just to me, but to everyone out there. You've actually, even the people that have attacked us and hated us, you've been very entertaining to them, and so I guess have I.
So we might be helping just making them laugh. Who
Right.
knows?
You know what? We're helping these people in a very weird way, but it's still helping them get through their days because they are stuck on stupid and stuck like glue on us. And that's just the truth of the matter. But well done, Sandra, Tia, Dawn, my girlfriend, Dawn Ledgerwood here. The only other thing I want to add before we start to, wrap things up here, is I'm going to be doing some shows with the YouTuber that goes by the name of Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Don and I are here in Northern California, the San Francisco Bay Area. Robert Reese and his wife Amelia are down in Southern California. And this is something that the GNA does to help people. There have been some creators out here that have had some mishaps, and they feel they aren't at fault with those mishaps. And we have taken a stance on those mishaps. I've talked about some of them on my Walking with Purpose streams, on the other channel, GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development. And if you're here watching the podcast, you can actually, watch the video version if you're watching on one of these, audio only platforms. The link is in the description. If you want to watch my Walking with Purpose streams, once you go to that channel that hosts this podcast, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, you can go below in the description and click the link to go over to GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development, and that's where I do the live Walking with Purpose streams. And I'm going to be doing some shows with Hot Facts with Robert Reese on YouTube, regarding these situations of where, there are a lot of people that are putting out stuff on YouTube that they feel they're right on and they're wrong. And we want to help them learn to accept responsibility and become better. So I'm going to be doing some shows with Robert. Go to the Hot Facts with Robert Reese channel on YouTube. If you want to subscribe there, just type that in. He's the only one, Hot Facts with Robert Reese.
It's a great channel.
It's a great channel. He's a great guy. Wonderful man.
Person.
But with that,
you know what? One more thing with Hot Facts with Robert Reese. He is a reasonable person to listen to. He's not there to put people down. But when somebody makes a mistake, he's going to call you out on it.
Oh, yeah.
But he's not going to be a dick about it. He's going to be like, he'll call you out, but you come back at him.
He might go a little ghetto on you like I do at times.
He might go a little LA on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'll just say LA.
Yeah, I'll go ghetto on you, too.
Oh, honey. You can never take the Sacramento ghetto out of me.
And Robert's a wonderful African-American man. I mentioned that because I'm a very diverse person. And I'm not just saying this to feel the need to say this like many other woke companies do. I actually really like, working with African-American people. I feel they are some of the most empathetic and reasonable people that can ignore the stupid shit that they have to deal with some ignorant and mentally ill and crazy, Caucasian people do to attack them, unfairly, wrongfully. Go ahead.
I just want to say, besides just mentioning his ethnicity, I would have loved him regardless if I never saw his face, just based on his content alone. So race has nothing to do with good content, good information, and good entertainment. So, I'm going to, give you a good shout out there.
We got to get him on the podcast, babe. I think we need to get Hot Facts with Robert Reese on the podcast. Maybe his wife Amelia can join us.
That's an actual invitation, Robert. We would love to have you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll reach out to him and I'll let him know. But yeah. Okie dokie. So,
Great show, babe.
oh, wonderful, wonderful show. It is time now to start wrapping things up. Our wonderful exit, our intro and outro, our entrance song and exit song. Ethan Mixel, Double Helix from the YouTube audio library. Wow, yeah, great show. Great show.
Yeah.
We hope you all loved it as well. If you're here on YouTube, please subscribe, bang the bell, select all notifications so you don't miss anything. Also, make sure you go below in the description and subscribe to GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development as well. That's where all the live streams are going to be at. Sometimes, we do live streams here on the main channel where this video podcast is at. And again, if you're on the podcast audio only platforms, you can go below in the description and you'll see how to connect with us on YouTube. All right, babe. With that being said, it's time to go. Have a good one. Take care.
Have a good one. Treat everybody good.
And as always, what?
Be kind to others. What? Am I saying it wrong?
No. Be good to each other.
Be good to each other.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Alrighty. Bye, guys.